also like to make a small presentation as a token of our appreciation for your time, sir. You may take the stage, sir.
A very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you, Albino. And shall we give for a big round of applause for having led the last session with such eloquence and such smartness. Thank you, and I'm considering myself very fortunate to be chosen to lead this program. Well, I've been looking forward to a program such as this, to have a very serious discussion on entrepreneurship, because I believe this is the need of the hour. But if look at the content of this session's talk and compare it with the last one, they may seem to be diametrically opposed. From government jobs suddenly jumping out to a world that is unknown. Anyways, the best way to predict the future is to create it. This is according to Peter Drucker. And Chris Grosser, in his own words, he said, opportunities don't happen, you create them. They are describing entrepreneurs. The essence of entrepreneurs are innovation and creativity, risk-taking, vision and purpose, value creation, adaptability and flexibility, leadership, collaboration, networking, and of course, all driven by commitment to the passion. And obviously, they also create jobs. Well, our panelists personify these qualities. They are very young, but they are pioneers in their fields. Entrepreneurship itself is a very young concept in our state, and we are still grappling with the idea. And I thank the Alumni Association for having recognized this very important dimension of our society. Thank you, and I believe that today will mark a very important milestone towards this new direction, towards this new brave world. We know that the government cannot employ all of our youths. Everybody says that, and I believe entrepreneurship is the answer. And as an academic institution, we are acutely aware of the challenges and the need for redirecting our focus from one that is purely academic to one that is socially relevant, from scoring good grades in examinations to scoring good grades in real life situations, from creating employees to creating employers. So there is a paradigm shift in even education policy, and if you look at the new education policy, NEP 2020, this idea is implicitly underlined. So I believe that this session will be very important, not only for students, but also for the teachers. In this hall, we have top entrepreneurs of the state in the presence of the creme de la creme of the youth in Nagaland. And therefore, I hope to have a very hopeful, a very lively discussion this afternoon. So on this note, we will begin this session. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you big name in beauty industry. This company is called Beauty Barn. And I'd like to tell a very short story about this new venture and the lady behind this. So our panelist is a visionary, effortlessly capable, and a sharp business woman. And she also happened to be an alumna of this college. And I've been very glad to discover that just now. She is none other than Tali Chopi. And she is the founder of Beauty Barn, which is a trusted name in the skincare services in the state and beyond. Being driven by passion and commitment and successful collaboration with over 20 globally recognized brands, she is a name to reckon with when it comes to the beauty industry in the state. But her story began humbly, and it reads like a classic story of startup company that became very famous, like the Apple, the Microsoft, and today SpaceX, Tesla. Now, from a very humble beginning, now she is leading a team of 40 professionals catering to the needs of beauty in the state. So, well, talk about employment and creation and generation of employment. But this is just the beginning, and we will see more encouraging results in the future as well. Her deep insight into the beauty industry, innovative approach in digital marketing, and close attention to brand strategy, and most importantly, customer engagement. These qualities have positioned her as a thought leader in the field. So her leadership continues to shape the future of Beauty Barn and the beauty industry in general, while inspiring others as an influential figure in this industry. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please help me welcome Ms. Tali Chopi to the stage. And the Alumni Association would like to give you a token of their appreciation. Please accept this. Yeah. You can keep her. Naroki. It means a house of flowers. Is that right? Yeah, any guy from any tribe who has a history of admiring our girls will know this. And I know. I've been following the development of floriculture industry in the States since 2000. And from the very popular cymbidiums to impatiens to cut flowers to lilium to stechis to now succulents. Well, the house, namely Naroki, has been in the forefront of the development of floriculture industry in the state right from the beginning, and they still play a very important and leadership role today. So Watila Lomer is the founder and CEO of Naroki, and in a nutshell, Naroki buys from local growers, thereby ensuring sustainable income for them. And she also connects with outside players, like players from Pune, Bangalore, and from northeastern states and beyond, and linking them up with local markets as a one-stop place for all occasions, for all needs in all seasons. And so thank you, Watila, for making our weddings more natural in the decor and more fragrant, and for giving our funerals the richly deserved flower tributes, and for making our offices and our private spaces more personal. And Valentine's Day, what can I say? Watila has a PG degree in agrochemicals and pest management from Delhi University, and she is also partner and coordinator of a company called North Bengal Floritech. And she has been highly decorated by those who have actually recognized her contributions to this field. She was listed among the 75 successful women entrepreneurs in India in the coffee table book, namely Innovations for You, the 4th edition. And this was done under the aegis of the Niti Aayog 2022. The story of Naroki was featured in a special edition of a journal called On Trade in 2023. And in 2024, on the occasions of the International Women's Day, she was presented with Women Achievers Award by MVI RDC World Trade Center, Mumbai. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very distinguished lady and leading the industry, especially in floriculture. So, I'm very honored to invite you to the dais. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome her, Miss Watila Lomer. The Alumni Association would like to give you a small token of our appreciation. And lastly, obviously not the least, the name of the next panelist who is associated with the most unconventional structures and buildings in the state, from the famous bamboo pavilion in Kisama to the imposing Agri-Expo complex in Dimapur, to Angya outlets in eastern Nagaland, and to the coolest looking bus in the state called the Green Caravan, which transports organic products. Having earned a bachelor degree in architecture in BMS College, Bangalore, he trained under big names in the world of architecture in the country. And he, through his training, helped in developing some eco-friendly architecture, including the mud stabilization block, hollow clay tiles, and so many others. Together with a friend of his, he founded Zyronic Consultancy, and that is a group focused on community development, besides others, through training of the youth. And in his line of work, he has associated with many government departments, including DUDA, Urban Development, Rural Development, Skilled Department, and Entrepreneurship Development Department, and so on and so forth. He is, again, a very highly decorated person, having received Bamboo Pioneer Award by the World Bamboo Organization in 2011. Also, he was an awardee of the Young Designer Award by Indian Architect of Builders 2012, and also a winner of Balipara Naturonomics, very interesting term, by Balipara Foundation 2015. And so, I take this pleasure to invite a very distinguished entrepreneur and a personal friend, Mr. Richard Belho. Please welcome. And please accept a very humble token of our appreciation of your presence. This. So, with that, we will begin with our discussion. And the flow of the event will be as before. I will invite each of these panelists to make a presentation of 15 minutes. If you can limit yourself to that time, it will be difficult, but there will be no hard and fast rule about this one. And after which, after all three of you have made your presentations, we will have the Q&A session again. And so I will take this opportunity to invite Tali Chopi to the stage to deliver her talk. Please come and take the time about it.
Good afternoon, everyone. It feels so good to be back after almost more than a decade. I belong to the 2004 batch, like I passed out in 2004, so it's been 20 years. So this is the first time I'm stepping into this college after I passed out. So before I share my story, I just want to ask, how many of you have heard about Beauty Barn? If you can raise your hands. Okay, how many of you do skincare? So if you follow us on Beauty Barn, you might be knowing that Beauty Barn, we are very popular with our monthly giveaways, right? And if you don't follow us, make sure to follow us on Instagram. So today I have, like our regulars, we have a little bit of giveaway. Since the time is very limited and it's only 15 minutes, we'll just make it quick. I'm going to ask 5 questions, so one question per winner. And anyone can participate, professors, students, anyone alike. So each gift hamper is worth about 2,000, okay? So are you guys ready? Okay. The first question, so whoever wants to answer, you'll have to raise your hands, and the first one to answer will get the prize, okay? So the first question is, what are the different skin types and what is your skin type? Who can answer? Okay. Can you give the mic? Mic.
There are actually 4 types of skin types. First is the oily, second is normal, third will be dry, and fourth will be combination. And for me, my skin type is oily.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, the first winner. Okay, the second, are you ready for the second question? Okay. Name 5 brightening ingredients in skincare. 5 ingredients that are used in skincare for brightening your skin. Anyone? Okay, no? Okay.
5 ingredients are peptide, hyaluronic acid, mandelic acid, vitamin C, and AHA, BHA.
Yes. Okay. The third question is, what is double cleansing? What is double cleansing? Anyone? Okay.
Double cleansing is first we use an oil-based cleanser, and after that, the second step is foaming face wash.
Yes, that's right. Congratulations. So we have the last question. Are you guys ready for the last question? Name 3 ingredients used for acne-prone skin. For pimple-prone skin, 3 ingredients. Okay, there's one.
It's niacinamide, salicylic acid, AHA, BHA.
Yes, that's right. So, oh, okay, we have one more. We have one last question. Okay. What is the basic skincare routine that one should have? The 3-step skincare. We will not have repeat. We'll give some other chance. Okay, so yeah.
Cleanser, moisturizer, and sunscreen.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Congratulations to all the winners. Yeah. So today I will not be sharing about skincare. Standing here today brings a lot of memories because I think it's Science College is more than just education for me. For me, if I look back during the time that I spent here, I think the friendships that I created in Science College has turned out to be lifelong friends, and you know these friends have been there for me through thick and thin. So I think Science College, you know, it's just is beyond the classroom. It teaches us a lot about life also. So yes, Science College holds very close to my heart. After I completed my class 12 in 2004, I went on to pursue my bachelor's in environmental science from Bangalore Mount Carmel College, and then I did my master's in botany from St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, and after I completed my master's, the same year I got married. So I never had any work experience. I did not have any, you know, any work experience or any background in business, and that's how I started. But today, like our moderator introduced me. Like today, I started out as a, you know, as a home-based business alone. I had I have 3 kids. So during that time, I had 2 kids with me, and then I really wanted to do something with my life. Like I did not wanted to be a stay-home mom. I felt like I was educated and I should do something with my life. So I was, you know, trying to find out what to do with my life. That's when I stumbled upon this beauty business, and I started out at home from with a small box of skincare, and that's how it all started. And today we are a team of 40 plus members, and We deal with more than 20 plus globally well-known K-beauty companies, and we are not only an e-commerce brand that sells beauty products, but our team, we specialize in marketing. We call ourselves marketing agency, because every month we are churning out thousands of emails to, to our customers. We do WhatsApp marketing, we run different types of ads, and we run a lot of campaigns for the brands that we work with, and we help create brand awareness for all these Korean brands. So how did I get here? Today I will not be sharing so much about my business, but if I will be sharing about what led me into this journey. So I'm sure most of you students here, you are at a crossroad in your life when you must be thinking about what next to do, right? Like, what will you do after your bachelor's, or what are you going to do after your master's? Should you give exams, or should you pursue some other kind of career? So even for me, since, like I said, I got married early, so after I got married, I really wanted to do something, and those questions kept me up at night. Where I am today, I never figured out, I never had it figured out. There was not a point in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was always confused. I also had sleepless nights where I was questioning myself what next to do with my life. But for me, if I look back on how it started, I felt like it all started when I was in my master's. So actually, I always felt like, I wanted to pursue a career in creativity and towards business. But of course, my parents' logic is I did my, my science background throughout my, my bachelor's in science, and they felt that if I did arts, it would be a waste of my studies. So they told me that I should study master's in, I should continue my master's in science. We all have different callings. For me, my calling was different. I really was not into the science field, so I completely deviated from, from my studies to today, to a completely different field. So when I was really struggling in my master's, I did my master's in botany, but I can just proudly say that I'm a botanist, but I don't even know how to identify a single plant. So I was really struggling. I was really struggling to do my, master's, and during that time, I stumbled upon one book that really transformed my life, and that book was called. And I think that book actually led me into this whole journey of personal discovery and self-growth. And that book was called Jack Canfield, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And this book is not something magical, but whatever the principles in this book, I started applying to my life. And because, during my master's, I had this book as my second Bible, and I would be, there are certain mantras in this book that I will share with you today. So I had this book as my second Bible, and I really studied hard in my master's, even though I really didn't want to. And I got through in my master's with first-class honors. So some of the mantras that, the first mantra, I think the previous speakers are actually whatever I'm going to share, whatever mantras, they've also talked about it. So the first mantra is, I'm 100% responsible for my life. The moment I started to believe that I'm 100% responsible for my life, I stopped blaming everything outside of my control. I stopped blaming the government for not generating enough employment. I stopped blaming my parents for not putting me in the right profession, but I started owning my actions. I started taking control of my life, and that's where my whole life trajectory changed. I started working on myself every day, and my life turned around. And the second mantra that I started applying to my life was, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. I'm learning something new every day, and that is a stepping stone to my success. So this mantra, every day, in every way, I'm learning something new, and something new that's going to help me get, to become better. And throughout my entrepreneurial journey, actually, this mantra really led me into my entrepreneurial journey, because I started maintaining a journal. I started maintaining a journal where I started writing what wins, that the 1% wins. What new thing did I learn today? Even if it was a one page of a book, I would write it down, and I would write the 1% wins that I made every day. And over a period of time, while I was, struggling with my entrepreneurial journey, I think this kind of, all the learnings together accumulated over the years into what I became today. So my entrepreneurial journey, it was not a straight path. For me, when I started out, after I got married, I started, I had this mantra, and this mantra actually, that's where I started believing that I should try out a lot of things. So my first my first business was, I think I did like online accessories, and then I went on to venture into flower decorating, and at one point of time I thought I'll do like, I'll become a baker, and I started baking. One year I did a whole lot of baking, but still I was still not finding my calling, and I tried a lot of things, and I also tried my hands in fashion, and I had a fashion store. And then one day I stumbled upon this K-beauty, and I felt my calling in this beauty business, and not because of anything, but the products were really good and something trustworthy, and it really transformed my skin, and I felt like I could vouch for the brands, and I could, it was something that I trusted, and I could authentically sell the brand products, and that's when I picked up on my, that's when I started fully investing in this beauty business. So over the years, like I said, since I'm from a science background, I wasn't a born marketer, or I wasn't born with business skills. But I say I started picking up skills like how to do marketing. Like, we live in a world where the information is overloaded, right? Like, there's so much information over the net you can pick up and learn. So I started learning like about how to market, how to do business, a lot of things, and all these things accumulated into helping me, find my purpose. So today, if you are confused about your path, and if I had to, tell my younger self, I would say, learn something new every day. You don't have to know your path now. For me, finding my path here today, it took me 5-6 years. Like, success doesn't happen overnight. So it's a kind of self-discovery, and it's a journey. So you need to experience a lot of things until you find your calling. But during the process, it's very important that you continually learn every day, and until you find that thing that's really meant for you. So when I started out the business, I have always been an introvert my whole life. Speaking up on stage was the last thing on my mind. I would freeze, and I will not be able to talk, But when I entered the beauty business, I felt like in this age of social marketing and everything, business owners nowadays, we have to be out there on social media and talk about our brands. And so that was a very difficult thing for me. So initially I understood one thing, and that was getting out of my comfort zone. And I think our previous speakers have also talked about it. I understood my entire life, I used to always say, I'm not comfortable doing it. And I always thought that comfort zone is something, it's a safe space for me. But once I entered the entrepreneurial journey, I understood that comfort zone is a trap for you to stay stuck. And that's when I started doing a lot of things that were uncomfortable. Even though I was not comfortable, I would push myself to do all the things that I needed to do, and that led me to so much growth. So, if you find yourself saying I'm not comfortable doing it, you should do it, because that's where your true growth lies. So lastly, to the students, most of you, after you graduate and leave college, my advice to you, from my experience, my advice to you would be to experience as much as possible. Nothing beats experience. Even from now, if you you start reading something, you start learning something, you work under someone. If you feel if you feel like you look up to someone, work under them and get as much exposure and experience as possible. And also, when you're starting out, once you go out of college and you get a job, the first initial years, never think about your salary. Even if your salary is modest, what's important is the experience that you gain, because experience is priceless. For me, my journey was because of my experience that eventually led me to where I am today. So build up as much experience as possible, and also upskill yourself continuously. Learn something new every day. It might be a book totally different from your subject, but be open-minded. Be open-minded to, be open to having different, getting different perspective from different people, from different books, and challenge yourself to become comfortable, not being, being uncomfortable. Because I can promise you that if you genuinely apply these tips today, if you genuinely apply these habits into your life today, you will surely find your calling. And again, our previous speaker said, today in Nagaland, there are more than 70,000 people who are unemployed and 700 jobs, right? So I think we need more people on the entrepreneurial path so that we can generate as much employment and get the load off the government, and also like, have a better future for our state. So I encourage you all, like, if you are very sure about writing your exams, you have to, I always say, for me also, I did 1 year of coaching exams. I did 1 year of coaching exams and I got through prelims twice. But then I never really sat down to study, and I felt like that wasn't my cup of tea, that wasn't my calling. So I got out of it early. So whenever I see people telling me, like people come to me and say, I'm writing for exams, I always tell them, how much are you studying? If you are just, going to your class and coming back, please get out of it as soon as possible. Because if you really want to study, you just, isolate yourself and study, or get out, because by the time you turn 30 and write exams, I think that's what's happening to most of the people around us. We give up. Like, we are in our mid-30s, I think it's too late and I don't want to do anything, and that's where the unemployment piles up. So if you are really sure that you're going to write your exams, focus on it. If you feel like you're just giving it for time pass, get out of it. Experience as much as possible, and that's where you'll find your true calling. True calling, finding your passion, your calling, it doesn't happen overnight. You need to experience, learn a lot of things, maybe experience, like, if you don't like one job, try a different kind of things until you find what your true calling really lies in. One of the biggest drawbacks for us Nagas, and I think when I was growing up also, one of the biggest drawback is, I always remember, like, after our exams, we used to say, exam khatam, book to phelai dishe, like, and we never touch our books. And that has been the biggest drawback of our Nagas, especially in the business sector. Because business is continuously evolving. Every day there's, technology is continually upgrading. And if we are not upgrading our skills, if we are not upgrading ourselves, we are going to become irrelevant. So, like, for us, how we have been relevant, like Beauty Barn started in 2016, and it's been almost like 7 years, but we have been very consistent with our growth. And one of the reasons why we have been consistent with our growth is because we are always open to, me and my team, we are continually upgrading ourselves, continually, like, looking at the new technologies that are coming up, looking at our competitors and keeping ourselves on our toes. Once you are successful, like, again, our previous speakers have said, don't let success get to your head. Make sure that you're always on your toes, make sure you're always learning, because the moment you think that, you know everything, the moment you let success get into your head, that is when, that is the dead end. So for me, so those are the tips that I want all of you to take today. I hope you take ownership of your life. I hope you take 100% responsibility of your life. I hope you learn every day from today onwards, other than your college subject. Start learning something new. If you are not sure which path to choose, start reading a lot of books. You'll find you'll find a lot of ideas and perspectives from different industries, like experts, and start doing uncomfortable and experience life as much as possible, because if you apply these principles to your heart, I can guarantee you that you will succeed. Even if not now, you will definitely succeed in whatever field you choose. And so that's about it. So thank you so much for allowing me to share my journey with you. I hope my experience and my lessons, helps you on your journey. And if you have any questions, I'll be in the part. Thank you so much.
Well. When she was giving out the gifts, I was thinking Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres. Anyway, I think, no wonder you are very successful at marketing. So thank you for such an impassioned speech about your story and your success story. We are very inspired. We'll get back to you later on. And now, at this time, I'd like to welcome to the dais, to the pulpit, please, Ms. Watila Lomer, the CEO and the founder of Naroki.
Thank you, Sir Kafo. First of all, I'd like to thank the alumni and the principal and the faculty of the college for giving me this opportunity. When they called me to ask me if I will be available on 14th of September, without even thinking or looking at my calendar, I said, yes, I'm coming. I was so excited. And I was a batch of 2000 BSc. So I'm coming back here after 24 years to this auditorium. And I'm so happy to be here to share my experience. Like our previous speaker has said, Science College has been one place that has took me to where I am today, and I'm sure it will take me to a better place because of all the learnings that I had, not only academically, but also religiously. I was very active with the EU also, and I was also in the college students union as a magazine secretary for one term. And I'm privileged to have lots of seniors and juniors who I meet everywhere, all over Nagaland and in India, wherever we go, and it's like, you know, one big family meeting after a long time. Actually, my journey as a, florist, it was out of default. When I joined Science College, my grandpa was into medicines and all. I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied really hard. Plus, after class 12, I was preparing for the GAE. I really prepared well, but my fate was not to be a doctor. Suddenly, just before the exams, I was bedridden and, had some reactions with medicines and all, and I had to be hospitalized for a long time, and somehow, I just appeared for the exam. And then I got through for only BSc Agriculture. Then I thought, no, I want to appear for another time. Let me just continue with the BSc. That's how I did my BSc. But once I started doing that, I thought, no, to be a doctor is not my calling. Then after completing from here, I went to Delhi University. I did my master's in agrochemicals and pest management. Came back here. I joined in an NGO. I taught in a school. I taught in a coaching center where some of our students are in administrative services also. Some have gone through and got into, becoming dentists and all those things. And I have been shifting from one place to another. Then I joined horticulture department in the directorate as a technical assistant. And while working there, before it was even 1 year, I thought, no, this is not what I want to be in my life. And when I told my parents that I want to leave my job, they were like, why? The first question was, people are wanting to look for a government job, they want to work in the government sector, why do you want to leave? I said, if I continue to work here, I will not be happy. Because being from a technical background, I don't want to just sit in the computer and type supply orders. That was my response. And I'm so happy I made that decision. Because I'm not saying government job is bad, but that was not for me. I would have been, stuck up in that room, and then still now maybe typing and working out on the supply orders or working out on some project reports. Because since I'm from a technical background, I wanted to interact with farmers and, be in the field. So that's how, at that point of time, I, heard a company was there who wanted to establish in Dimapur. I just took that decision to leave my job without even telling my parents and went down to Dimapur. And, you can only imagine what I got at home, cold shoulders and whatnot for some time. But then, while working for this thing, Naruki came, by accident. And people ask me, what is your business plan? And whenever I go, students ask me, what was your investment? How much did you start with? Did you get any financial help and all those things? I'm telling you now, and it's the truth, I didn't have any business plan. I started this, and I have no experience with business. I started this with my heart, not with my mind, okay? And it was a big risk, actually, leaving a job and then starting Naruki without any business plan. I started it with my heart in a sense. When I was going to the farmer's field visiting the flower growers, I saw that they were unable to sell the produce. And flowers being perishable, if they can't sell it at the right time, it will just go to the dustbin. So that's when I met some ladies and I told them, Auntie, will you trust me if I take your cut flowers and then I'll sell it for you? Whatever I'll sell, I'll give the money back to you. If I can't sell, I'll be honest with you and tell you, okay, I sold only this much is not sold. So those ladies, they were like, Luijabi, ini bhi khore ni rakhiya se, na? So they said, okay, you take it. So that's how I started. Then I started at home, and from the firm that I was working, I told them, is it okay if I start my own business? Because at home it's becoming unmanageable because I was getting a lot of orders, and thankfully that time there were not much florists, and even using of cut flowers was very rare. And with Haji Park being there in Dimapur, whenever I tried to market the fresh flowers, they were like, Haji Park, do you have good real-looking artificial flowers, which will stay for years and years? Why would we spend money on a fresh flower which will last hardly for a week and we have to throw it away? That was the competition I faced. And then over the 6 months down the line, after I had a physical store, before it was 1 year, I almost thought, why did I start this? Because I was not selling like I was doing at home, and I had to push. I have to, in fact, give free flowers, and then, our people had that phobia at that time. I'm speaking about 15 years back, that if you are visiting a sick person in hospital, if you take a flower, they'll take it otherwise, as if that person is going to die. So that was a misconception also. But now, slowly over the years, flowers are used for all the occasions, whether it's funeral, whether it's anniversary, whether it's housewarming, even to visit a sick person. So we really had a tough time trying to, make people say that, okay, fresh flowers are better than artificial. It has its own aesthetic values and all. So my entrepreneurial journey started with my heart, not with my mind, or, with proper planning. I just started just because I felt compassion for the flower growers who were unable to sell. Then over the years, like I said, no investment, no big investment. Then over the years, as I took the step forward, I faced a big problem 1 year down the line, in a sense, like the farmers for whom I started my entrepreneurial journey, Naroki, they started selling flowers which they were supposed to give it to me because they were getting maybe better price from other, especially during the season. And they used to dump the flowers during the off-season. June, July, August, they used to bring and dump it to my store, which I have to pay whether I sell or not. And during the peak season, like now, September to January, February, they'll just say, "Phul du nulayo, thanda ora nohoina ki nahe nahe." So, I was in a fix. I was like, how ungrateful are these people? I opened the store for them, and now they can't give me. But that, problem opened up ways for me. I started communicating with Mao, the growers in Mao, and then from Meghalaya, then Sikkim. And slowly, as the demand grew, I started even getting from Pune, Bangalore, Uti. Even now I get it. Because here, what happens, we don't do it commercially. We grow it as a hobby, and we are growing in very small scale. So I can't meet the demand of the customers. Because if somebody wants 1,000 red roses, our growers here cannot give me. I have to go and collect from 10 different farmers for me to fulfill one order, which becomes more costlier than getting it from Bangalore or Pune. So today, what I want to share to you is, floriculture is a very lucrative business. But you have to plan it properly and then do it in a very proper way. It's a $1 million fast-growing industry. India, we fall very far behind. Holland is #1 in this thing. And in India, Nagaland doesn't come in the picture also. West Bengal, Maharashtra, Pune, then even Assam is there in the chart if you look at the floriculture market. But we in Nagaland, we are blessed with so much climatic conditions, different zones. We don't need artificial infrastructure to grow all these exotic flowers. In Kohima, you can grow all this lilium, roses, alstroemeria and all, carnations also. Same goes with Mokokchung, Woka, or colder climate. In Dimapur, you can grow all these tropical orchids or tropical flowers, which do not need any artificial medium to grow. So what I was put up to you, the young students here, see, at the end of the day, why do we study? To earn money, to get a job, to work somewhere, At the end of the day, it's all about the money. But the money, I feel, should come, it's much sweeter if you enjoy what you do. That's what I always say. You should love, you should not drag yourself up the next morning to go to your office. You should be happy to go to your office, or you should be happy to do what you are doing. That will make life more complete. It's not about how many figures you are earning at the end of the day. You should be happy with how much is coming, and also what you can do for the community. For me, more than business, it's also like a community building thing. I want to encourage flower growers, especially the women folk. There are lots of people who are, they are the bread earners by selling the flowers. And it's very, sometimes sad to see that not all the actual growers get the benefit that are supposed to go to them. But it's also encouraging to see that in spite of so many hurdles in their life, not getting any support from any agencies, they still work hard and then feed their family. So us, as the students from now, like all the previous speakers have said, it's very difficult for us to be accommodated. But Nagaland, we are sitting in a gold mine. There are so many things you young people can do. You just have to be, like the previous speakers have said, CRT, calculated risk taking. You need to take risks to go somewhere in life. If you just sit and if you just follow the crowd and want to go where the crowd is going, you will not end up anywhere. You have to follow the path less trodden. You have to go where somebody, just try. But then you should also have that in you to take the stress if things doesn't work out. Because maybe, like for me also, I've changed so many things and I'm here and I'm happy and contented with what I'm doing. So your destiny might take some time. Are you willing to take the risk? Are you willing to be patient? And persistence and consistency is another important thing when it comes to entrepreneurship. Why many of our Naga people, they open up, new things. They have very innovative ideas. They come up with things that nobody has thought, ideas. But then they shut down after 1 month or 2 months or, before it even flies off. Why? Because we are not patient. We feel that today I start up something, tomorrow I should start earning in lakhs. It's not going to happen. And I've seen over the years, even when I deal with my farmers, we are very poor financial managers. When we earn 1 lakh, we think that it's all our earnings. But then I always ask our farmers, that 1 lakh, in there lies your capital also. So you should keep your capital and utilize only your profit. So money management is also like young people from now on, you should learn, not before you jumped into it. And as young people, certificates are important. The graduation certificate you will be getting, the PhD, MSc, it's important. But then I feel why many of you are not employable even though you have, decorated frames, gold medalists, toppers here and there. Because you are not skilled to be employable. It's not only about your grades. There are lots of things, skills that you need as a person for somebody to employ you, whether it's government or it's private. So not only your studies, like other speakers have said, we must also give equal priority a lot of other things, spiritually also, physically, mentally, and everything. Then only we become one whole person that we are. We can't just rely on our brain and feel that everything will go. We also need the spiritual help, because we all know we are here for a purpose. We don't know, but we are here for a purpose. And as young people, now, initially when I started, I had nobody to guide me. I just went, bang on the door and said, okay, so I'm in the wrong place, turn. And then another bang, But now you have lots of people, trying to mentor you. Even the government, they have lots of skill development centers where you can access the facility. And especially the science students, I always tell the young, especially the agri students, they always want to go for a government job. I said, agriculture students, science students, you should go to the field, innovate. Discover some indigenous methods, put your scientific knowledge with it, and come up with something different. That's the need of the hour. Because as long as people live, as humans live, food will never go out of fashion. Food. And it's a big industry. apart from the floriculture industry. If you look into literatures, you'll see how much food industry is growing. And you, as somebody from solid science background, I'm sure you can come up with better ideas than what is there. So I just want to say these words to you. Try not to follow where the crowd is going always. Listen to your heart also, and follow the steps. Maybe the crowd may not be going there, you might be alone. And you know, it's always rosy to look from outside, but people always say, you're living a life, blah, blah, blah. I said, if you step into my shoe, you'll know how difficult it is. How many hours I have to put in. When people are sleeping, I'm awake, trying to do what next. When people are still sleeping in the morning, I'm awake before that. So that, you know, they always say early bird catches the worm. So I want to be that. Because it's a competition. But I must say now the competition is more friendly. Before, people used to hide, you know, business secrets also. Like they don't want to tell you how they're doing. And we have to struggle. Now, at least things are better with technology. We are collaborating with one brand with another, trying to, you know, encourage one another to grow together. That's the environment that we are in. And technology can be good if you use it in proper way. But at the same time, entrepreneurship can also be very stressful. It can be stressful. So systematic planning is very important. We all learn. Like we Nagas, those who are doing some sort of startups and everything, we are all first generation. We don't have it in our blood to do all this, like, unlike the Marwaris or the Bengalis who learn, you know, I think they know all about the calculations when they're in the stomach only. Because they know, even small kids can, you know, just calculate, and for us it takes time. But then we have also come in the threshold where, you know, we know that, okay, this is also one avenue where we Nagas can also excel. Initially, when I started Naroki, I never knew it will come this far also. Because like I said, it was only from the heart. I wanted to help the farmers. And by the grace of God, you know, I have clients who have become family and who are helping me grow my business. And it has come this far. I never realized until I got the recognitions that I got from people. They called me up and said, we want to recognize you for your work. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that, you know, word is spread about my work. I remember a time when somebody asked me, how do you want to see your business in the next 10, 15 years? I used to tell them, like when we talk about toothpaste, we all say Colgate. And when we talk about photocopy, we say Xerox, though it's the name of the firm. So I always used to tell them, I want people to remember Naroki when they think about flowers. I have a long way to go, but I'm sure with the support of all of you here and the people of Nagaland, I can reach that one. And my dream is that when they think about flower, I want them to remember Naroki, like we use the term Colgate when we use the name, think about toothpaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you for speaking to us from your heart. It was very inspiring, touching, even. Well, floriculture is not less than a movement in Nagaland. And I tell you, floriculture is also one of the reasons why the housewives lie to their husbands, especially about the actual expenditure they had on one planting material. She said, 300-400, whereas she has actually spent 2,500 for that tiny little bulb. There is a degree of passion. Indeed, entrepreneurship creates new conversations, new narratives, new openings, new avenues for employment as well. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it is my pleasure and honor again to welcome Richard Belho to speak to us. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Dr. Winto, the moderator here. Thank you to the Alumni Association for giving us this opportunity. Respected co-panelists here on the stage, the principals and all the faculty, elders, and friends, and most respected students, today all of you who have come here. For me, it is like sparring on the other end of the domain. When I finished my matriculation in 1990, I got admission here in Science College. Up to my blazer, I got my blazer. Then my family decided too much of his friends are here. We need to send him away. And I went to St. Anthony's, Shillong. So today I got this opportunity to be here. And from then on, I went to Bangalore University, BMS College. I finished my architecture. I worked there for about 4.5 years, working with different companies. Then, one of my senior, Engineer Rocco Saleh, he came down 3 times and then said, "Richard, you have to come back to Nagaland. Because of lack of work culture, corruption is happening among our generation. We have to train them, we have to skill them." And in 2002, at the end of 2002, I came back, started my journey. What was the first challenge? No money, no connection, no network. A lot of people came and said, "Gahuri thengbi loigine jaine sir khan manohange lokribina." We started with small projects. Luckily, I won the first prize in this all Nagaland architectural competition for Capital Cultural Hall, which was recently only completed because it got into some problems. But maybe it was only for that, for me to write my story, I won the first prize probably. I was just a newcomer in Nagaland at that time. But that gave us a boost. But the challenge to start a company, to start a firm also, every parent wanted their educated kids to join government job. I was like starting a new cult, trying to tell people not to join government job. Because government job is only for running the government. If private does not work, who will pay the salary? Today, our panelists, my co-panelists have said that our collection is only 10%. Nagas, we talk about change. We love to talk about change. But unless we ourselves are those who are moving out of the comfort zone, how will change happen? I'm also closely associated with the Chief Minister in terms of projects, and I know what are the problems that they see. Aha khan jitigina aha sob darbukina ahe kila development kam kru. Sob bosti de RD laga fan pabole misabra 150 gord hakilbi 200 likhibo sob proxy duplicate kuria do. How can there be clean election unless village are honest? So we have to see what is the thing that ails us. When I was trying to build my team also, so much of problems that I had because our people lacked discipline, we lacked resilience. If you want to see our society prosper, we have to work like the Koreans, we have to work like the Japanese, who does not rely on their politicians, who does not blame, who does not have this feeling of victim mentality, who does not have this false sense of entitlement. I am of the X generation, and the X generation, at least our parents did not allow us to complain. But the next generation, because of pampering, we brought up a generation that would complain all the time. I believe that we create our own reality, and it is known as the world of quantum reality. We can all be standing in the same standing in the same place together, but we are subscribing to different realities. My co-speaker talk about that, to believe in a positive change. We are all living in the same place, but we are all seeing a future, a different future for Nagaland. And you are going to live and die within that misery or within that happiness only. When you subscribe to a positive world, we can see it happening. When you subscribe to a negative world, you see only helplessness. When you see the landslide problem between Kohima and Dimapur, this is nothing if you see how the Japanese or the Vietnamese people, how they encounter flood and all this problem. They would just not even think that that was a landslide. But because we just have got so used, so feeling so entitled that only government should come and do. If about 100 people go down there with a spade, you don't even need a JCB to clean it. We could have cleaned it ourselves. We have to understand that at this age, my co-panelists had mentioned about a book that changed her life. I also mentioned about a small book that changed my life. Better Yourself book, Catholic publication, just a book that says, just one word. We are born of no value. We are not born with any value. And that word, I was in PU that time. I realized that nobody here is born of value. Value is something that we inculcate ourselves. Value is something that we force ourselves, whether it be learning how to cook food or learning even how to make chai. Trust me, a lot of people in this room will not know how to make proper chai. Just learning how to make that also, you are going to change people's perception, or you're going to make a better world. I believe that when I go and talk, sometimes when I write, it looks like I'm writing against the church, because I hate all these bondages. I hate NLTP and all the things that we have done our bit of suffering. We don't want you to suffer anymore. No civilization is dying because of drinks. No civilization is dying because of alcohol. But when people say, if God is there, then why? If God loves everyone, then why are there so much of unsuccessful people in this world? Because the answer is written in the Bible. Knock and it shall be opened. Ask and it will be given to you. God did not say, don't knock, I know what you want. No. I did not start with that journey. I grew up with a single mom, lost my mother when I was 15 years. But I just pushed on, because I know the only way to get any blessing in this world is to claim it, is to use your word for positivity, is to make sure that you are not subscribing to a thought of negativity. And I believe also in the world of energy and vibration. I've seen successful people, I've been close to them also. I know that they don't mingle. People don't feel like mingling with unsuccessful people because they give them bad vibration. And vibration is real. Even if you post your children photo up there and if people say, I am a sundar, and the kids will start falling sick. Vibe. Just by vibe. And if you are a gardener, you'll know it better. Naroki will know it better. Watila, she will know it better, because if a negative person goes to the garden, pong, everything will die. It's a world of energy. And when a positive person walks into the room, you know that That person has walked into the room. Whether you believe it or not, Jesus can make people, even dead people, live because they've got so much of energy. This is why we need to harvest positive energy, starting with our thoughts, with our word, and with our action. I did not believe that I will hang on to Nagaland for so long. Just trusting Engineer Rocco Saleh's word, I came here giving myself just 5 years. I said, okay, let me come and train people. I'll train people for 5 years, and I'll go because I don't think I'll survive here in Nagaland. Then I told him, I met Uncle Vilele once, 2005-06, contractor, is a renowned contractor, just for one day, just for a few hours. Then he was so intrigued why I came to Nagaland and why I want to go also. Then I said, Uncle, we don't know people so much. And maybe if I start a company also underground, I will like how all of you will be thinking at this point of time, what will happen? Apni ki lok krubo, what you lok krubo, itu lok krubo. Apni ki le man bui khaya se. What you'll face. But you have to understand, Nagaland needs you. And then it's not like I'm the most important person in Nagaland, but I just started giving myself this. If I don't do, who will do? If I don't go, so I started training, I started working with people. So I understood that one of the most important things which a lot of entrepreneurs miss out is mentorship. We love to call ourselves entrepreneurs, but we don't go. And if you ask my friends, all of them would have gained in whatever position they are in. It's all about finding the right person. The most important thing in business is having the right mentor and having the right network. If you don't know the right person, forget about business. Your product will never sell. It does not matter how much advertising and marketing you do also. You have to know to whom you have to target and who is the person that you need to know. And the other thing is, in the world of energy and vibration, when you start a company, you have to ask yourself, how does this benefit the world? How does this make the world into the world I dream of? When I started bamboo, I know that every bamboo that I build, every bamboo structure that I build is going to benefit one village from whom I'm going to buy the bamboo and the workers, the Naga. So I'm helping the money to circulate within Nagaland with each and every action, with each and every skill job that I train. I know I'm helping one soul at a time, just like a pastor is fighting for salvation. I'm trying to make sure that we hang on to the money. If there is no economic vitality, our society will never thrive, our society will never grow. It does not matter how much of money is being used up in an illegal manner, how much of money is through corruption, how much of money comes. But still, as long as if we have economic vitality, if money circulates amongst us, then our society can thrive. But if we don't do our work, and when we let other people do our work, then the money will just go out from this place. We have to see that as young people, it feels like everyone is shouting at you. And it is not your fault. Our parents, my parents, your parents, all of us, we talk to our children the same way. Apni hange duk guru na dibo karne, apni hange duk prawa thakibo na dibo karne, muhan iman kam guri na aishe, ina koi thakiji. And then what did that turn us to? That started making us believe that someone is there to do our job for us. And then we came up to this cruel world and find that entitlement is no longer there. It was only, and then when our parents die, we cry and cry and cry because now kun ki jai ne mohana dukhang kubo. That made us a less resilient society. A society which hides under the name of tribalism to fight. Kobole ki bakta biak pailwe kobole monja tribe mohange mohana tribe khange na kurise mohana tribe Kohima laga Kohima capital shift kurile pal hoi jabo ina kurile pal ho. Are I tell them in Kohima other tribe churches are bigger than Angami tribe churches. You don't even know what you're talking about. If you're ready to give your whole district land to start a new capital and give us back our land after developing so much, we'll be so happy. You don't even know what is the root cause of the problem. When you talk about alcohol, we are not even addressing why that person has become alcoholic. No, we are not addressing the problem. So, why employability is a big issue? For those of us who are in a private domain, when we employ people, we find that people don't even have the ability to listen. We are talking to them, they're not even listening to you. Forget about listening, they're not even processing what you're saying to them. And so whatever instruction you give them, after some time you find that they have messed up everything. Bengali ekta ke bisare na anibi. Manager level do na parwi do khantu. Kotha ko sob de acha acha go lui they don't execute. Being able, the fact, using your mental faculty to be able to, why do you have to even go to school or college? I'm telling you, it is of no use. The only use why people rely on educated people is their ability to only listen. We don't need the skills given in the college level, but we need that they have folders. You know, uneducated people, they don't have folders. So whatever you tell them, they put into one big box and they take a long time to but educated people, the more educated you are, the more refined your folder system is. And so it is very easy to communicate with you. Today our chief ministers, he always, whenever he wants to design something, even if I'm not the architect, sometimes he would always take me around because he gets stressed out explaining his idea to them. So he'll explain it to me and allow me to explain to them after he goes, because he does not want to repeat 2 times. Unless we train our mental faculty to this level, then otherwise we'll not be employable at a higher level. Our Nagas, we want to be employable at the top level, but our mental processing level is at a very low level. We need to understand that we need to cultivate sincerity and honesty. Even if it is, you don't just become sincere and honest just like that. In a workplace, you really get stressed out. But you just have to act it out. Smile and say, yes sir, okay sir, yes sir. You just have to tolerate it. It is acting only, but learn to just tolerate. Because it is so true that failure is the stepping stone to success. If I ever meet someone who has never failed in life, then I know that person is only lying. Every time we fail, we realize that we have been upgraded to the next level. We have been upgraded to everything we try, it's only going to fail, and then we'll slowly. There's so much of, today when 3 of us stand on the stage, we'll talk about our success stories. But behind that, there's so much of times when we just hold our head and like, it's almost every day because we don't have safety nets. If we had government salary, we'd have safety nets. Because we don't have government salary, we have to like really work. But when people talk about entrepreneurship training and all, people talk about business plans. And in my world of entrepreneurship, we don't have business plans. It is about having a right vision about how it will help someone on the other end and how you can make your presence in such a way that someone is benefiting from your presence. And at the end of the day, doors just open. And it becomes very difficult because when people ask me to come for career guidance, I'm like, see, I cannot give career guidance because I know like the only thing you need to know is how to build up your positive energy. If you don't know how to build up your positive energy, I say, just grow and plant a tree to start with. If you plant a tree, that just gives you positive vibrations, okay? If you go and clean a drain, just clean any drain, it will start giving you positive vibration. And you'll just, it's sometimes, let the religious people forgive me, but it is even more holier than going to church, okay? The act of planting trees, the act of cleaning water lock. See, people do not regard the rivers and the streams. This river and the streams are the only thing God gave to start with, to start life on this earth. And you're looking, scientists are trying building telescope to see if water is available anywhere, but they don't care what water is happening on this earth, okay? When you start harvesting that energy, doors will start opening. When you start visualizing your company as not a company that is just somehow managing in Nagaland, but when you see your company as something big, and I believe that if you tell God that I need an airplane for my own use, so that I can reach out to more people, God will give you an airplane. God is not a God of kalihe sai sabo. No, God just gives you anything that, and I get to travel all around Nagaland. I've touched all the district and most of the places and all the motorable roads. I have been going there, and most of the time, it's only one vehicle, no backup. And it is only during the time when there's maximum landslides. But we just keep going with that energy, and no bad things will happen to us. So I chose to speak the last because I'm sure I'm going beyond my time limit. And there's something about this code of life. Code of life is something. Don't ever try to help someone just without really thinking about it. Even if you help people with money also, it'll never solve their problem. Don't try to guide people, try to mentor people, but don't blindly do something just trying to think that it'll change your situation, because you have to understand this. All of us are trapped in our own situation because God chose to do so. And we have to overcome ourselves. We have to overcome our own obstacles ourselves. And we can guide, but you can never change their situation, because I cannot change you today, but you can choose to change yourself. Change is something that is internal. And if you say, I'm tired of this life, I want to move out of my comfort zone and I want to change. Don't think that God is waiting at the end of your graduation with some certain options, like option A, option B, option C. Nothing. That certificate is worthless. That certificate, also you'll find that tomorrow when you go to apply for a job, there'll be someone who has got 5 more certificates than you. But who gets the job? It is not always the smartest, the hardest, the best who thrive in this world. It is not always the best educated gets the best job. There are people who are more lazy than you. There are people who are least educated. Okora kini ka aji itu de punchisi ho. There are people who are much better than us, but who are not here in this platform. Why? Because it is only those people who say, "I mau give it chance, TV." Now, those of you who stand up today and say, Bhagwan, make a chance to you, I just want to change the situation, then situation will change. So, in this code of life, we have to understand that when life is stressful, you are climbing up. When life is smooth, you are going down. If you start complaining, God is like, pump up the pressure. Class aru demotion DDB. Not fit for exam. But if you say, God, throw anything at me, I'll just tolerate it, then you clear that. So, it is also the other thing about young entrepreneurs, never take loan without experience. Don't try business loans. Today morning, NSRLM, a group of their leaders came to meet me, and they were saying that government has given them 1% loan. I said, don't take any loan if you don't have experience. You don't even need to think about that statement. Deeper than that is just that. Go seek apprenticeship. MIA, just say, there's a common term. Why they are controlling all the market? Because they work under people for 10 years and now they know how to run a shop and they can run a shop. For us, we have earned money for 10 years and we want to set up the same shop without experience. No, we need to learn how to work under people. We have to understand how to do market intelligence. Market intelligence is not about growing plants during the right season. Market intelligence is hitting the market before it is not season, off season. Even if you hit the market 1 week before, Rajamarcha market, 1 week before the season, you're still going to earn money. Earning money, in the world of private entrepreneurship, there's no line, there's nothing that says you focus on this thing and you'll become successful. No, it's not sports. Entrepreneurship is learning to do any type of business depending on where the market this thing is. It is how MBAs are trained also, and it is something that we have to master. Diversification, I'll just quote a small example. So this Del Monte pineapple, they became the top pineapple company in this world, Philippines, 46,000 hectares. What they did was they took the crown of the pineapple and converted it into natural leather. They took the help of a French lady. The cover, they made it into prime cattle feed. And this pineapple weighs. So they sold it to US 10 rupees per pineapple. So we can diversify. So think about it. Don't think that I am only going to try for government job, and if I become overaged, then I'll think about some other option. Not like that. Government job is only do it if you have a pastor mindset. If you think you're intelligent, don't even try for it. Don't try for it. Nagaland needs intelligent people in the private sector, not in the government job. Do government job if you really want to do service for our people, not if you want to get rich. So we have to learn how to work with each other, learn to create ecosystem, learn about the trick and trade of how people are thriving. All these people are thriving, non-locals are thriving because they've created ecosystem. But Nagas, even if your friend goes open a hotel, apni jaise kule paisa nalabo. Itu karone apni next time jabole mon nai. Dukan jaile free pabo. So, that is why we don't understand. Mohan to soram lage to. Are ulta sati genge matim na muela hotel khulise. So we have to learn how to create the ecosystem, and we have to empower our communities. It is our job to lift each and every one up. We have to. And at the end, the most important thing is always to inculcate this attitude of gratefulness. Naga Manoghan Mohan Niche and the Kamgro, when they leave us, they are the least grateful and they are nowhere thankful for us helping them or anything. And we are not asking for that, but a heart of gratefulness always takes us further and further. Ungratefulness will always push us down. So we have to be grateful for our parents regardless of how imperfect they are. We have to be grateful to our teachers regardless of how imperfect they are, because we have to get their blessing. We have to claim whatever blessing is there, so that we have to make all those blessings. We have to fill our life with blessings. So with God, every day we have to be grateful to God for giving us, for putting us into every different scenario. Every situation is custom tailored to us, and we have to overcome it. Nagas, we talk about change, we want to see change, but we are not personally doing anything for change. We have too many leaders, we don't have any foot soldiers, and each and every college must work hard to bring out foot soldiers that can become a part of the change. And there's something you can just research on the internet, it's called the 100 monkey experiment. If a group of people commit to bring about change into a certain place, then through mass consciousness, everyone will start thinking in the same way. Right now, because all of us are thinking always in negative terms, the whole of Nagaland are thinking alike in a negative sense. So let's be a part of this change. And this is kind of a preaching thing. It was not really my personal stories also, but something that I have learned along the way. So this is what I'm sharing to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. You have touched upon many pertinent issues, and I find it hard to summarize what you have said. But I remember, you see, most young people treat this kind of wonderful, influential talks as background noise. Like, you know, we used to play music in the background and with other things. You never learn things that way. So we have to be receptive, open our minds, and accept these gems of advice that you're getting today. Because here, these are examples of Naga people, the smartest, the able, but they chose to be entrepreneurs. So they did not take up a government job out of choice. And so here I'd like to remind you that, you know, in this room, our students, you know, if 5% of students sitting here gets into government sector, that will be a very good harvest, I tell you. And the rest of you, 95, where do you go? Well, what I'm saying is, take up something, take up a passion, take it to the next level, just as our panelists have done. So they are, in their own right, path breakers in their industries and in their fields. So we are very, very lucky and fortunate to have them here this afternoon. And by the way, I'd like to thank Sashiwopong and Chicharakong for having extended their stay. Thank you very much. Well, so we will begin with Q&A, but one of our panelists, she has to leave in 15 minutes. So she can leave in 15 minutes, fine, but the rest of us will continue with the questions. We have here the first question. What are the things that you need to do to continue your business, and how to attract customers at the same time? Excuse me? Can we get more volume on the monitor, because we are not hearing ourselves? A little more volume on the monitors, yeah. So the question is, what are the things you need to do to continue your business, and how to attract customers at the same time?
Okay. So first of all, like for your business, you need to have you need to be passionate about your product, and your product should also have, it should deliver value to the customer, and also you should know how to attract customers. I think it's very important to know what your product does to your customer, what are the benefits. If you know your target customers, then it's very easy to attract customers. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd just like to add on that. I think at the end of the day, if you want to have consistent customers, you need to have quality product. Okay. Another thing would be, see, human beings are very fickle. We get fed up. So we need to upgrade what our customers like, maybe in terms of my flowers, variety, colors, exotic things once in a while, certain designs which nobody is doing. So those things we have to keep on upgrading on a daily basis if we want to keep attracting our customers.
Yeah. Okay, I think another question related to you is, what are the drawbacks of having competition in your business field?
I think when it comes to having competition, it's very, I think I take it positively, because it prevents the business from being stagnant. If there was no competition, I would just be so laid back and I would never have grown. But because of competition, I'm always on my toes to come up with something more creative, to come up with something more challenging, and offer better services to our customers. So that's that's what has kept us ahead. So competition is a good thing.
This person wants a word of advice from especially Toinali and Watila, a word of advice or encouragement for women who left their job after marriage. And she promises that she will pass your word to her mama.
I didn't understand the question.
All right, so a word of encouragement for women who left their job after marriage.
So, well, I mean, there are certain seasons in our life, like if your mom is at a, like, you know, if she's given birth, I mean, there's a time for everything, and, you know, when the time is right, she can get back to her job. It's never too late for anything.
All right. A very personal question. What is the net worth of each of our panelists as of now? Honest answer, please, he says. You can if you like. Okay.
No, we don't have that kind of this thing, but our turnover is, our activity is below 6 crore, that's all, per year. No?
Wow. How about you? Here's another question. I have no particular skills or hobbies. Can I still start a business?
Yeah, you can still start a business. If you don't have a skill, pick up a skill, and, you know, like, this is the right time to pick up a skill and start. It's never too late.
Okay, wonderful. And I think this is another personal question for Toinali. What is the best skincare routine for dry and sensitive skin? Free advice.
Like if you have dry skin, it's very important. Like a lot of people think that, you know, like just using a heavy moisturizer, heavy cream will solve all the problems. But if you have dry skin, first you need to hydrate, like with a toner or an essence. Take the example of a plant. If your plant is dying, if you just put fertilizers without watering it, it will still be dry. So the whole concept of dry skin is first you need to water your skin and then put a moisturizer.
There's another question. Do one really require investors to start a business? If so, how to get investors?
Okay, I think even Richard has mentioned before, you should never, invest, start a business without any experience. For me, when I started out, I started very small, and only when I knew that this business had potential and the business was, having some rotation, like the sales cycle, the rotation was fast, then I, started getting some not investors actually. I, took some, for me, we still don't have investors in the business, but we took out money from our families and we invested in the business, and that's how we grew. So a lot of people, upcoming entrepreneurs, they always say, I don't have money to start a business, and I need to have that much amount to start a business, but it's actually, and then, and when they have that money, sometimes they're very confused what to do. So always start small, and then when you know that it's the right thing and, it's getting it's getting good traction, then that's where you can come in for, have investors on board.
Yeah, thank you. What would you like to take on that, Richard? Yeah.
Actually, trying to get an investor with only a single idea is just a waste of time. You have to be very clear with what you want to do and where does that deliver. It's at the end of the day, when you start failing your business, those investors will start becoming an obstacle to you. And businesses and brands are built only on trust and word of mouth, more than whatever you advertise. Even if you advertise something, if someone says that, no, I've tried their product and it's not good, if someone says, even from their mouth also, people will start believing that more than what you advertise. So, start something small and seek investor only when you know that the investor is going to benefit from you. Don't think that investor is like our concert ticket. Fundraise in aid of fundraise. And we just say, please buy this ticket. The investors are not like that. They are investing in you so that the money is worth more than putting as a fixed deposit in the bank. If I put my money in the bank, maximum I might get about 7% per annum. But if I invest, I might be able to double my money. If you have a business like that, where they can double or triple their money, then look for investors. If you are looking for investors who are like God-fearing people and who will never mind if we don't give back their money to them, those are not the type of investors.
I'll just share a thought on that note. I totally agree with them both. Don't look for investors with the idea that you have. First, try it out. Now we live in a world where you can have cloud shops also. You try your whatever you want to do, try it out, feel the market. And if you feel that it can take off, then maybe you can think about getting investors. For me also, I don't have any investors. I've just saved up whatever I've earned and over the years, put that money back into the business.
Yeah, thank you.
See, I managed the bamboo treatment plant, government of Nagaland bamboo treatment plant in Dimapur. And I started managing that in 2007. That time I did not have money. And late Uncle Norman said, you manage it, and I'll tell everyone to invest. So my only agreement, business plan was, give me 10,000, and when I can double your money, I'll give it back to you at 20,000, but I don't know when I can return that money. Okay, because I have no calculation of when I can return. But it took me 3 years, but within the third year, I was able to pay back. I raised 6,40,000, and in that 6,40,000, 2 lakh or something was spent in clearing the baki, whatever had been, because a lot of people used to supply bamboo that could not be used, and we ended up with a lot of truckload. Government had purchased so much of truckload of bamboo that could not be used, so I had to inherit that and pay back this money. So my agreement was just that, give me 10,000 and I'll give it back to you at 20,000, but I don't know how many years I'll take, but I'll pay it. Then with that I paid everyone off, and that was my, and till date, like, if I have to keep meeting them all the time, right? They cannot say like, you took 10,000 from me and we did not pay back. Yeah.
But the key thing is you knew exactly what you were doing and you were sure that you were able to repay them back. And you did. Congratulations. We have here another very interesting question. If one business idea fails, how do you know when it's time to move on or stick with it in a different approach?
See, in business term, there's something known as sunk cost fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy is, because you have invested so much of money, I should not quit. See, to be a successful, though I'm not like you're really successful entrepreneur in that sense, just doing one business, but for us, the moment we know that it's not going to work anymore, we just drop it and then go off to the next. These losses we can recover, but time we cannot recover. So when you have to lift your hand, you lift your hand, because time is more precious. Okay, money though we can earn. At any given point of time we can earn money again, but time though we cannot afford to get stuck there.
Actually, when starting, it's very important you calculate your return on investment. Like if you're investing 1 lakh, you work out in how many months' time or years' time it's going to come back. So if you feel that it's not coming back at any point of time, no, like he said, no point wasting your time. Just move on.
Okay. So what are the qualities you look for in people while employing them?
For me, like, I think vibe is very important. When someone walks into the, for an interview, I just get the vibe, like positive vibe. One of the most important qualities that I see in when hiring is having a growth mindset. If people are very fixed and, when we give them feedbacks, they don't want to take it and they don't want to, improve on themselves, then that's a very negative quality. And also, negative, that vibe, negative energy is something I always try to avoid.
For me, time is very important. So I always would prefer somebody who keeps time. Another would be sincere and hardworking and honest.
For me, it's always been the ownership mentality. anyone who comes to work for us, don't start thinking you're coming to work under us like servant. Think that you are coming to us for mentorship and you are ready to grow your company into a company bigger than ours. And when people come with that type of attitude, we really want to work with them, and we want to go, because we are going to share with you so many things that along the way, when a younger person comes, you have time on your side. We learn things the hard way. Had we had any guidance or any additional mentorship, we would have reached our positions further earlier than expected. Just to get to know, I'm just saying on a personal note, just to get to know the Chief Minister, it took me 8 years as an architect just for him to say, oh, Richard, just to, if I had, for some people, they can get to know them in just 1 year or in just a few months, someone can introduce them. But introducing people to the right, this thing, you need to have that mentality where you are working in an environment like as part of the family, and you take ownership. Anyone who takes ownership, we know that they are taking ownership of this, and we can give them the control of that. And they are going to train, we are going to train them like owners. So these are the type of people we want to get. We don't want to get people who are like servants and who have to be told every day what to do. It really stresses us out there.
So remember, the key words are sense of ownership, belongingness, honesty, sincerity, and of course, positive vibes. How did you tackle with the pressure of transitioning from science background and venturing into entrepreneurship? I think this question applies to all of you.
Like I said, it took quite some time in the sense that there was nobody to mentor us also. I started my business 2010. So those days, everything was totally new. So I just, went and then banged on the door and then learned. So I learned all those things, but thankfully, I had some good friends from school who were into commerce and all. So I did not feel shy to ask what I did not know. One of the hurdles we Nagas face is that we don't want to ask people when we don't know. We try to act like we know everything. I think that keeps us away from a lot of things. So I was not shy to ask them, especially about accounts. I did not know, even about the banking things, like how to operate, current account, transaction with the bank and everything. So I started asking them, because this, even having a book of accounts was difficult for me. I had to learn. I went to a CA and told them, I want to learn how you, enter into the book of accounts, how you do it. So it's very important that we ask people and learn from them, those who know, instead of just trying to avoid the real people and going around the bushes.
Absolutely. And do you plan on taking your respective initiatives globally?
Sorry, again one?
Do you plan to take your initiative, your business, globally?
I'm open to anything. So yeah, the future, the possibilities are endless. So if the chance comes, definitely.
And a very specific question, how do you get a job in Beauty Barn?
Keep up your, we'll post when we have a new opening, so keep your eyes open on our stories.
Okay. And here I can bunch these two questions together. How do I know the right time to initiate or start my business?
See, it's only the moment you are ready to move out of your comfort zone. Only then the time happens. And I don't believe that if you are still contemplating on when to start a business, I think you're already late, because I believe that when a child has reached about age 11, class 6, by that time they should be starting a small business. I've been sharing this with the churches and with the schools also. Just collecting cow dung in a bag, you can sell one cement bag for 100 rupees in Kohima. If you can just collect 10 bags, you're already getting 1,000 rupees, and you can pay your own school fees, and you don't have to rely on your parents to pay your school fees. And unless you develop that business sense, because don't think that a sense of business is only reserved for those people who want to be entrepreneurs or to be business. Everyone, every society needs to learn about the value of time and money. And you can start any type of business. So today morning when these people came and they said that government is giving them 1% interest for business, I told them just start vermicompost. Don't start farming right now. Just organize yourself and go to Kohima dustbin, and then you can just start a vermicompost, because all the raw materials are free. And that's a legit business. But if you're going to start a business where you have to invest time and money, see, do your research, study about what is passive income and what is active income. Start with passive income. Anything that brings you income. Don't start vegetable farming now, okay? That's like active. Don't start pig business. That is active. It needs your active involvement. Start with anything that brings you passive money and also helps to make the world a better place. And I'm saying that's like composting.
So there is no better time to start a business than now. Like people outside, like most Americans, they are like when they are, by the time they are 14, 15, they are already millionaires, right? So I think it's very important to have an entrepreneurial mindset from a very young age. Like there's so much opportunity with social media. Like you can open an Instagram page, you can start something, whatever you love to do, and you can earn like a little, side hustle, and then those things actually build up to your experience. So even if you're starting a small thing, if you're selling a small thing, don't feel like it's a low thing for me. I mean, even if it's small, be proud of it. Work, just try to gain as much experience, because the more experience you gain, it accumulates, and I think with all those experiences, eventually builds up to finding what you want to do. Like example, my daughter, she's in class 6. So sometimes her classmates, they have this, they have a group on WhatsApp and they sell stickers. So, but I don't stop her. Sometimes I teach her how to do business. Like I teach her how to buy from wholesale and how to, how to double the thing. So it's never like there is no specific time you can start young. The earlier you start, the better.
Yeah. Thank you. And can you cite some examples, some areas of new business ventures that people can take up? Any one of you can take that question. And Richard, while you're on it, you can also tell something about your farm at the Tikhel Model Village. Yeah. So,
see, right now you have to understand that just yesterday, ChatGPT released its new model, 1.0, that's just preview. Now, from machine language to neural bias to it has reached reasoning. This is still one more step away, 2 steps away from hitting the curve, to flattening the curve. The world of artificial intelligence is moving so fast that most of you, whatever you study, including my line, architecture, will become irrelevant. Structural engineers, civil engineers will become irrelevant. At a certain point of time, you have to be up there with any type of technology that is going through. So you just try to see what, at least if you want to start a small business, try to see what is selling in Nagaland. When Antwerpen Banyan is selling on regular basis at fast pace, we want to only invest in high-end wedding garments that will only sell once a year. See, we should not focus on, we have to see when you're thinking about what are the things that we can pick up, we have to see what is running. So I keep telling them, to the farmers, I tell them, Bikiri kuro paranai kula gahuri dana bonawo parawo na parawo. Gahuri dana bonawo parawo kule still that business be lost na kule adwa lagai che kule gahuri dana bonawo na parawo kule adwa na lagai che bhi. And if, in a local term, I'm just saying, if it boils down to you at least being able to feed it to the pigs, then you still have got a security measure in the means Gauri to Bikir grow power. That is, we know now. So think about what sells. Alu, kiki kinine khai, dal, alu, piaz, tomato, mercha, all these things are coming from outside. We still have, in spite of all the things that we talk about farming, how farming has improved, we're still not able to sell within Kohima. So see what is the local market, what sells, what is coming in from outside. So just for your calculation, every day 150 pigs are slaughtered in Kohima, and every day, you won't believe it, but minimum 8,000 kg of fish is sold in Kohima. If I ask you to go and sell 1,000 kg of fish, you will not know where to start. Even 100 kg, you will not know how to sell. But 8,000 kgs of fish is being consumed. So when you are looking at business, there are certain model. One is existing, what is already existing, and there's a demand. One is to create a product and create a demand. One is like to predict something in the future, predictive, and you start planning now, and then always try to see which is better. Is it better to sell something raw, or is it better to sell something processed? So, millet. Millet is the only non-gluten, means it's, people are like talking about gluten-free. So if you make a gluten-free pancake mix, immediately you can just send your millet powder to abroad. You can export it. But if you want to just sell raw millet, you will not get anything. So you have to know like what is in demand where. So this is known as market intelligence. Any business you want to start, you have to see how much of time it takes. Gahuri la bacha la business bishi pala se bacha paigine, but it takes so much of time and energy. So one day when you go for holiday, everything is going back to zero.
Okay, this question, last question is for Toinali. Series of questions actually, so you can answer or you can, decline, that's fine. What is the most important thing I can do for my skin? 1. When should I start using retinol? 2. Best face wash for all skin types. 4. Best products for dark circles under your eyes. And some more giveaways, please.
Since that's a lot of question, we have a skincare consultation, on our Instagram, and we have WhatsApp. We have a full-time team that will cater to all your skincare queries. So you can always DM us. Our team is always ready to help you.
So I hope you got that. All right, so I think that will be the end of this session. And I take this time to thank all of you for patiently sitting and listening. And I'm sure everybody's got a lot of benefit from this. It has been a very enriching experience, very enlightening. And I want to thank especially the distinguished panelists on the dais for having talked to us about so many issues, so many pertinent issues that is in our society today. And most important of all, we'd like to thank you for giving us very invaluable advices. And I think this will go a very long way in promoting entrepreneurship in the state. So on that note, we will end this meeting. And finally, I'd like to thank the Alumni Association for having organized this wonderful, wonderful program today. And we will still be having another program in December. And I hope we will grow from strength to strength, and then all the time helping people, helping young people, inspiring them. And I think, okay. And there is another request from the Alumni Association. There are several stalls out there, outside. And so you have the freedom to go and, take part in the food and the things sold there. So, on my part, I'm done, and our panelists can leave the dais and go to your more comfortable seats down there. And to end this session and today's program, a round of applause, I think. We will have a word of thanks from Nchumbemo, the treasurer of the Alumni Association Kohima Science College. Nchumbemo, please take the time.
Thank you, sir. During the short quiz time, my focus was only on Sir Kapo. So I was expecting him to raise his hand to any of the questions that were asked. But unfortunately, sir, I was rooting for you. I'm as sorry as you are now. All things must come to an end, and here we are now pulling the curtains down on what has been one of the most exciting and enlightening and enriching experience or day that we had. A respected chairperson of today's program, Srimati Lily, principal, vice principal, and their esteemed colleagues of the college, all alumni present here, invitees, and students of the college. It has been such an honor to be a part of this enlightening 63rd Kohima Science College Foundation Day Gum Alumni Lecture Series 2 event. In continuation to what Sir Belho mentioned about being ungrateful, sir, I would like to quote a sentence. No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. So I'm delighted and honored to have been given this privilege of delivering the vote of thanks on behalf of the Alumni Association of Kohima Science College, Kohima, Josoma. At the outset, I would like to thank the principal, vice principal, and all the college faculties and all the staff for giving us this day and all the logistics supports that were required to in organizing this event. Of course, I'll be mentioning some later also. My sincere thanks also goes to our two moderators, Srimati Abhino Jasmine, NCS, Dr. Wenitso Kapho, Associate Professor, and our panelists for today's business sessions, Sri Shanavas C. IAS, Sri Cherakung Ziliang IFS, Sri Sashiwapang, IRS, Sri Richard Belho from the Zynorec Initiative, Srimati Tali Chopi from Beauty Barn, and Kumari Watila Lomer Naraki for accepting our invitation and giving us your precious time in your busy schedules. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights and expertise with us today. Your knowledge and experience have provided us with wealth of information and inspiration. We are truly honored to have you. We are truly honored to have had you here. During the panel discussions, I'm sure our moderators and our panelists might have noticed the students busy with their mobiles. I was a little apprehensive on seeing those. On closer look, I realized that they were not just playing, they were not playing with their mobiles, or they were not neither on social media, nor on social media, but rather they were busy constructing their questions or coming up, writing their questions or jotting down important points. And after seeing them, I did not realize myself being drawn into that, and I also jotted down so many important points, not only for myself, but for my family, for my children. And so I thank all the participants for your active engagement and enthusiasm during the panel discussion. Your thoughtful questions and participations have enriched the discussion and made this session more interactive and valuable. A big thank you to Dr. Wenitso Kapho and his team for the sound system. And I am not sure who were behind the videography and the live streaming on YouTube and the photography also, but a big thank you to you also. And then Madam KV and her team for arranging the refreshment, for taking part in the refreshment, Dr. Rokokono and party for the decoration, Srimati Atane and Kumari Morenla for the presentation, Srimati Chuparenla and Kevitsuno for the stalls. Your behind the scenes efforts are greatly appreciated. Thank you also to Sri Imkam Long, an alumnus of Kohima Science College, for gracing the event with a beautiful song, and the Kohima Science College Choir for leading with the college anthem, as always. It would be unfair on my part if I don't thank our chairperson of today's program. Thank you, Srimati Lily, for leading the program with such elegance. I thank the KSC students, union volunteers, NSS, and NCC for their active involvement in organizing this event smoothly, such as in the traffic regulation, ushering the guests, registration of alumni, and the seating arrangement inside the auditorium. I also thank everybody present here for making the time to attend this event. and making it a grand success. Above all, nothing would have been possible without the grace of the Almighty. So I thank God for this beautiful day and for the great and memorable event that we just had. Thank you.